got him. Thank you.
Hey, Hurley, calm down. All right.
Okay, we'll just skip the whole face exam.
Okay.
I know, but
Okay.
Ooh, that always makes you thirsty. Good boy. You ready to go home? One of my newest subscribers, he watched one of my older videos. It's one where my nephews and I hike 35 miles of the Lone Star hiking trail. And for me, it was a shakedown hike for my first trip to the Appalachian Trail. And so he said that toward the end of my hike, I gave this, what he called a speech. And it was because of that speech that he subscribed to my channel. So I thought that was very nice. His name's Nathan Sharp. Thought that was very nice of him. But I was curious, and I went back and looked, watched the video, watched the so-called speech, and it was kind of a bittersweet thing, I guess, because I needed to hear those words. It was something, one of the things that I talked about, of course, was about for obese people, morbidly obese people, don't be afraid to get out there, and while you're still fat, and go backpacking. Don't be afraid to go to the gym. Don't worry about what anybody else says. The objective is to lose weight and get healthy, and preparing yourself for small backpacking trips, and that'll inspire you and motivate you to lose more weight, get healthier, so you can do bigger trips, longer trips, more adventurous trips. And so it was bittersweet for me, because although I now have more experience than I did when I made that video, I still have not progressed the way I wanted to. I've lost a lot of weight, then I gained a lot of it back, and I've just kind of been on the roller coaster of losing weight and gaining it back. So right now I'm in a good place, making progress, slow progress, but it's going well. Anyway, so I needed to hear those words again for myself. Many of you are aware that Early Riser, or ER, has some videos out, a series called Use It or Lose It. And so I've been enjoying those, and right now he is hiking the Pinhoti Trail, which I think is 350 to 400 miles long. And so, but he's been through this series, and while hiking, he's given a lot of great advice for not anyone that's hiking specifically the AT, but any long trail or any multi-day backpacking trip. And so what I want to do is, he has such great advice that hit home with me, some things that, since I have a little bit of experience now, I can see and understand and have experienced, and I want to give a little bit of advice to those who are like me, who maybe don't have any experience and who are morbidly obese. And I want to kind of take a few of the points that ER made and just kind of look at them from the fat perspective. Okay, some of the points that I want to hit in this video is preparation, physical preparation, training, but also your gear, using your gear, and some things that ER emphasized most really was hydration, food, and sleeping. So as far as preparation is concerned, as morbidly obese people, we want to lose weight and get healthy. We want to exercise anyway. This, the idea of going backpacking, taking these little adventures, just kind of encourages us, motivates us to do that. Now, when we go on a multi-day, especially backpacking trip, as morbidly obese people, there's going to be people out there that, of course, are thinner, healthier. They're gonna hike faster. They're gonna hike further in a day's time, and that's fine. We need to do what we can do, but we need to be prepared to do it. You need to research maybe whatever trail you're going to go on. Find out, if you can, how far apart the camping sites are, the shelters are. Find out about the water sources as best you can. Find out about the terrain, the elevation. All those things are important for you to understand, what kind of shape you need to be in. Ultimately, and I've always struggled with this, is getting in the best shape possible. But still, we don't want to get ourselves out there and get in trouble because we just absolutely can't do it, and have a major serious physical problem, something that threatens our health. So we need to do our research on the trail we're going on. But it may be the case that, let's say, typically you're going to be hiking some elevation. You're going to be going over a hill or two or a mountain or two in a few days' time. And so you want to be prepared for that. What I do, because I live in relatively flat country, is I hike up and down stairs. And I eventually get to where I put my pack on, a full pack load, go up and down stairs a bunch of times, along with just a lot of other walking. But also I like to hike up the side of an overpass. There's a particular one that I like to do that with. So getting those legs ready for those hills and those mountains. Now, understanding that you might not be able to make it, but let's say 6 miles in a day. And let's say your campsite or the trailhead, you start there, and then your campsite or shelter or whatever is maybe 6 miles in. That may be as far as you can go on that day. And then the next day, you may only be able to make it if it's just a few more miles to the next campsite or shelter. That's okay. I've hiked, like 2 or 3 miles. There's been a few times, and that was all because the next shelter or campsite was maybe another 6 beyond that, and I knew I couldn't do 9 or 10, especially if I was climbing a mountain. So I might stop by noon or 2 o'clock, and that's fine. The one thing that's important is you need to have enough energy once you do get into camp that you can do all your chores. You need to be able to set up your tent. You need to be able to go fetch your water. If there's a water source, it may be 0.2 miles down the hill, and you got to carry your water back up another 0.2 miles. That obviously is going to take energy. You've got to be able to hang your food bag. And you're going to have the energy to cook. You're going to be getting in and out of your tent and doing a lot of bending over. So there's a lot of things that go into setting up your camp for the night. You have to have enough energy to do that, so keep that in mind. Now, one thing that I've done is I've always thought about, since I've always hiked as a morbidly obese person, I've always thought about making my situation as easy as possible. For instance, like this tent. It's not an ultralight tent. This is a Big Agnes HVUL2 tent, and I love it. Hi, Hurley. Hi. Yes, baby, I'm making a video. Yes, did you finish your chewing? No, you've been... Okay, you just need some loving? Okay, all right. Here, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Mwah. Good boy. Okay, all right. Leave me alone. Go. Okay, so... this is a dome tent. It's a self-standing tent, and I wanted a tent that was quick and easy to put up, and I didn't want one that was going to use my trekking poles to help put it up, because I may need my trekking poles if I've got to go to the privy, if I've got to go 50 yards to the privy, or if I've got to go get water, or there may be a view or something like that, or if I just want to go socialize at the shelter or something. I may need my trekking poles to do it. My feet may be just so worn out and I'm so sore. So that's another reason why that I use my trekking, I use this kind of a tent. And by the way, take your trekking poles. Make sure you get trekking poles. You can get cheap ones from Walmart or wherever. These are Leckies, and you know, but they'll break just as easy probably as cheap ones for Walmart. I've used cheap ones from Walmart for years, just walking, not necessarily hiking. Did some hiking with them, but I broke on my first trip to the AT. On my second day, I stumbled over a little creek. I really wasn't paying attention, just a stream. And, you know, this really, my poles were just bent out, trying to keep from falling. And I fell on one and bent this lower one. And so I broke it on the second day, basically. And my subscribers, they told me, said, hey, they gave me a name of a person at Lecky, a phone number, and they said call them and they'll send you a replacement for free. And that's what happened. So that was pretty cool. Now, your gear is something that you need to practice with. You need to know you know, the effort that it's going to go into, because even though people that are thinner and healthier, they're going to be just as tired really as you are, because if they hike, they're going to hike further, like I said, and faster. They're going to be worn out at the end of the day, there's no doubt. But when you got an extra 100, 150 pounds or so that you're hauling around, then, you know, everything else that you do it's going to take more effort, and you need to have an understanding of what it takes. So whether you go on just a day hike, carrying your pack, and going somewhere and setting it up, or even if you just do it in your backyard, you know, do it several times, set up your tent, know what it takes, get used to it, because you'll do it faster and better, more efficiently, but know what it takes to set up your tent, know what it's like to hang your food bag over a tree limb, and what that's going to take. Using the restroom, pooping in the woods, you know, digging the cat hole, and how you're going to do it. And it's not easy when you're morbidly obese. And are you able to get in a good enough position to do it? Can you clean yourself afterward? You know, what do you have to do that? So I said doo-doo. But so, you know, you need to practice all those things. You need to practice getting in and out of your tent, changing clothes in your tent. You need to practice if you're going to be cooking your food, you're going to have your stove and everything, you need to practice that. So every aspect, you need to practice filtering your water, whatever kind of system you have to get water. All those things you need to do well before you ever leave for your trip, so you'll have an idea of what to expect and how much energy it's going to take. Good Sunday morning, everybody. Well, I'm going to upload part 1 of this video to YouTube, and then I'm immediately going to upload part 2. So stay tuned. I'll see you in just a few minutes.